Well, everybody, I just wanted to get this on film. I had this customer drop this boat off actually yesterday, and here it sits in the driveway. He's got a 75 horsepower hydroelectric shift. It's in the driveway. He's got a 75 horsepower hydroelectric shift Johnson, and boy, that's right up my alley. So I think I'm going to be able to help him out here. It's got some problems. He says this is his grandfather's boat, and actually it looks like a pretty darn good vintage old boat. I really love the look and the line of it. It's going to need some tender loving care, but I think he's willing to put the work into it. And so I'm going to work on this motor. I'm going to start with a compression check just to see if it's viable, and we'll do a health check and see if I know it doesn't have spark because the coil is bad in it. It's been disconnected. It's got a distributor on it, and the points are shot. So we know we've got some work to do. It probably needs a new impeller. I'm sure it does. So he's going to have me do all this work, and I'm going to put this on video just to, if there's other people out there that want to know how to do a 75 horse Johnson. I think that's a 1963, I think he said. But we can find that out. We'll figure out what year it is. As you can see, it's hydroelectric or electromatic, not a hydroelectric. It's electromatic shift, and it does need some cleaning. So he's going to do all this. It's even got tilt trim. So if this engine runs, or we can get it to run, I think he's going to be very happy with it. So let me step back a minute, and I'm gonna pull the hood off, and we'll see what it looks like. Anyway, this is the old coil, and you can see it's not even connected. The end on it is missing. Distributor is in good shape. It appears to be in good shape. Doesn't look like it's all totally abused or anything. I'm just wondering about the contact inside there. Not sure. I'll have to look into that. It's got some sort of a threaded fitting that probably screws in there. I don't know if we can get that out or not. But you can see this distributor actually looks pretty good. I mean, it's clean. The rotor looks clean. It doesn't look too bad. I mean, the points are shot in between here. You can see these are kind of cooked. I don't think they're even worth trying to fix. I mean, they're clean, and if we can get this thing together, maybe we can try to get spark with those points. But I'm definitely going to have them replaced. If we get this motor running, we'll get all new parts for it, ignition parts, and some other guy was going to put this on it. It's a looks like a Ford coil. It might work, but we're not going to use that. We're going to get the real McCoy here and replace this. This has got a big crack in it, as you can see right here. So that thing is toast, and we'll get a new coil. And we'll try to get this baby running. I'm going to do a compression check on it, and if that's viable, we'll go to the next step and see what we can find out if we can get spark back on it. And but it doesn't look that bad. The engine looks like it's never, probably in my opinion, never been overheated. And I think even the wiring don't look all that bad on it. So Again, it's a hydroelectric shift, so that's going to take some doing to get that water pump out of there, I'm sure. You got those, like the electric cables got to be disconnected, and then the shafts, it doesn't have a shift shaft, it's got a cable that's got to come out with the lower unit. So we'll get into that, and hopefully you'll stay tuned, and more to come. So thanks for staying tuned, and keep watching, and we'll see what happens. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to spray a little sea foam in there, lubricate those pistons and rings, since it hasn't been turned over in quite some time. I'm going to crank the engine just a little bit, get to move those pistons. See if they can. Sounds a little rough, but we'll see what we get for compression. At least we know we got pistons moving. It's a good sign, I think. We'll see what happens. Okay, I'm going to drop that down. Maybe you can see that. We're doing it. Why, looky there. We got 100 pounds. We got 100 pounds of pressure on this. So pounds in every cylinder. If we do, this motor will run. That's good. That's good news so far. Let's see, maybe if I can put it up here somewhere. I want to make sure you can see that though. Yeah, I think you can. Turn it a little bit this way. Well, we got 90. We got 90, so there's 10 pounds difference. Still enough to run, I think. 90 pounds is adequate. I don't know, 10 pounds difference. Let's see. This is cylinder number 2. I did number 1 and 3. And this is 2 and 4. See that? Okay. What do we got? Wow, we got 95. 95. Yeah, there's hope. This engine hasn't been running a long time, so maybe those rings just are a little stuck. Or, you know, need to be freed up. This engine needs to be run, is what it is. And those numbers might come up as this, as we go here. We get it running, maybe we'll get better numbers. But 90 will work. 90, we had 100, 90, 95. We'll see what this one is. 90 on the dot. So, and that's excellent actually, because the variance between the highest and lowest is 10 pounds, which is probably less than 10%. So that's excellent. Okay, next on the agenda is going to be getting spark back, and hopefully we can do that. We just got to figure out the distributor, get a new coil. We'll purchase our parts now that we know the compression is good, or at least adequate. This motor will run, and we just need to get the appropriate ignition and probably the water pump fixed too, so, or at least replaced. We'll get a water pump impeller. We'll get maybe the gasket that's in there, and also the base plate. I'm sure the base plate's probably had it too. So we'll start there, and if we need any more parts, we'll order them. But so far, the owner's invested enough money into this to where we can get going on it and get it going, get it running. So, okay, so stay tuned. Okay, this is all the parts that I got in the mail. Just received the coil today. So it's a brand new coil, old new stock, or new old stock, however you want to term it. And I got that off eBay. This is again for the 75 horsepower, 1963, I believe it is. Evinrude 4-cylinder. Also got a new impeller, some gaskets, the water pump housing, the plate, I believe is in there as well, the plate, base plate. And we've got our point sets here. So these are the points. Of course, the impeller. And we also got a condenser. So all of these things are brand new, just old stock for this whole motor. So we're gonna give it a try and see if we can't bring this thing back to life. I did a compression check on it earlier, and we had 90 pounds on each cylinder. I think it was 90 on two of them, 95, and then 100. So the compression was actually decent enough probably for it to run, and we're going to get it going. I've got the distributor cap over here, and I just wanted to show you that I did measure continuity of each of the wires. I had two of the wires that were not showing continuity, and I had to trim them back and reattach the plugs. They've got those little tiny springs in there that connect to the spark plug, and those weren't. They were kind of corroded a bit, and so I cleaned them up. I cut the wire back a little bit, and it seemed to produce the continuity I needed. So. Okay, that's checking make sure the meter works. So I'll check this one here, and there goes to, it should go to 0. There it is, 0. So that means there's continuity from here, from this post through the wire to this lead. The next one should be this one to this one. Oh, there it goes. Okay, 0. All right, that's good. Now we'll check this one. That would be, I think I've already done this one. This one. Okay, 0. Good. I think I want to double check this one again. Okay, 0. The only one I didn't get was this one. That, of course, is this post here. And I get 0. Okay, so I've got good continuity on all 4 cylinders. That's what I was looking for. So this can get reassembled back. I do want to check one more thing. This is the wire to the coil. I don't think I checked that. Okay, that's good. So we're getting continuity there as well. This meter is not an expensive meter. It doesn't beep when there's continuity. It just tells you 0 resistance. So that's what we're showing with 0 resistance. Okay, so now I'm going to reinstall this back onto the motor. But before I do that, I want to go back to the motor, and what I'd like to do is go back to the motor and maybe change out the points before we put the distributor back on. I think those points have had it. That's why I bought a couple new sets. So it takes 2. So we got that and the condenser. These weren't expensive parts. So the condenser is listed as part number 652580256-1. And the point sets were listed as 580290. And it's the same number for both, so it takes 2. So we're going to do that. We're going to install the sets and put the see if we can get spark out of this ignition system, with the new components that I've purchased. So. Looks kind of gross in there. It looks like it's got some lubricant on there, but it's old and nasty. This is the rotor. The metal on the rotor looks pretty clean though. This wick has got to go though. It's all dried up. The manual says you're supposed to replace these every 100 hours, and that is completely dried up. And these point sets are definitely no good. No. I said to be careful of this. They said that, in the manual to be careful of this jumper wire to make sure it goes around this post, because that's crucial. Otherwise, you can actually make cylinder number 4 misfire. So when I take that off, it's got to be routed exactly the way you see it here. So I'm going to begin by removing the points and then replacing them with new. I mean, you can see that these points are, they are toast. So we'll start with that. these little clips, you can lose them very easily. So you want to be careful not to. I don't know if the kit. Yeah, it does come with the new locks. The little wick is in there with that oil in it, so you see not to add any more oil than something than what's already there. Seems to fit good. Because it's been sitting in that bag for about 50 years. Okay. Now this, yeah, it's pretty built up, but I tried to clean as best I could. You know. I'll put these screws back. This is a new clip. That's a new retainer clip. I need to take my gloves off for this. It's too small for me to handle with gloves. Hope I didn't bump you too far away here. You probably can't see what I'm doing. It just so far what I've accomplished is I've switched out this set of points right here. These are all new. This is the clip I'm going to be pushing on here. So I can't do that with one hand. So I'm going to have to. I've also secured this, this wiring. So next I'll move on to the other set of points and do the same thing with this set. Just remove everything and replace it. And then I'll clean the points, and then we'll put the distributor back on. Well, I mean the distributor cap back on. So you can see the old points. Yeah, they look pretty rough.
Do you need enough?
Yeah, thank you. At least it shows that these things were, this was actually running at one time. So they look a little burnt. Now just to see, or to show you, this has a little detent hole for this clip. You can see it right there. You want to make sure that that goes into the hole. There's another hole on the opposite side of this clip that it secures into. So that just snaps over that. It's kind of a retainer for this, holds it nice and tight. And then I'm going to put the other clip on top of this bar, this bus here, this bar, just like I did with this one here. So I'll just put that little clip on this side and secure these wires with the screw, and then put the new condenser in. So that's what I'm going to do next. On this set, in the back, but in the front they're closed. So I'm going to need to adjust the point gap to 20 thousandths according to the manual. So I need a feeler gauge. Okay. Here's my 20 thousandths. I'm going to clean this off with some carb cleaner. I got to spin the motor over. I got to spin that motor over a little bit. Check them again. Okay. I'm just turning the motor over by hand till those points open and close a couple of times. High up on the cam. I think we need a slight adjustment. A little bit. A little bit too tight, maybe. Let's try that. That feels pretty good. Now I opened up a little more than I wanted. Yeah, like that. Now let's do the other side. These aren't opening at all. Let's see. That actually feels pretty good too. Just so you can see what I'm doing here. Okay. I'm checking the points. They're on the high side of the cam and they're open, and I've got some slight drag on this 20 thousandths gauge. If you can make that out. I don't know if you can see that's 20 thousandths. So, then the same way with the other set, we spin it around. That should be fully open there. Just a slight drag, and that's what we're looking for. So, okay. Yep, I think we're set. So, now, that should be correct. I'm just going to put these bolts in loosely or just snug. You're supposed to alternate them so that you don't crack this plastic distributor when you screw it down. So you want to be real careful of that. this distributor cap is no longer available for this motor, and the only way you'll find one is in a junkyard. Okay. Now I'm going to put the spark plug back in it. These spark plugs are NGKs, NGKs, B7Ss, and I don't believe these are the right spark plugs for this motor. Champions are usually JC4s or J4Cs, whatever it is. I think it's J4Cs for this motor, but we're gonna just check it. Maybe we can get some spark check out of it and see if we've got spark returned to the cylinders. I'm hoping that's the case. I've got to also put the coil back on. This is the new coil. And I'm going to assume that the orange looking wire is positive. That doesn't look right to me. It is. So we've got a notch in here. I wonder if this had a cradle to hold it. I got something around it. I'll have to look at my parts list to see. It just shouldn't be loose like this. It should be secured somehow. It doesn't make any sense. No, it doesn't make any sense. Yeah, that works okay. Number 4. All right. So this one goes there. One there. These crisscross, I don't understand. Yeah, I don't like that. That should not be flopping like that. Well, next is to probably let that battery charge and then come back and then crank it and see. I'm going to put my spark checkers on it. Okay, so I've got my spark checkers all hooked up. Each one of the cylinders, the distributor's on, the coil's hooked up. I just got to wait for the charger to charge the battery because that's dead. And I don't know if there's something drawing on this boat that's killing the battery, because I just switched out the battery. It was a fresh battery and it killed it too. So I'll have to go from there. Let's see if it's working. I don't think I saw anything. Try again. Okay, this is going to be cylinders 2 and 4. Okay, one more time. I put a different tester on this one, so I should get spark on both now. Let's see, hopefully we did. Okay, we're filling it up with water, the barrel, and I got spark on all 4 cylinders. I want to fire it up just to make sure, see what she'll do, see what she'll run. We got spark, we got compression. I don't know about fuel. We'll add some fresh fuel to the carburetors and see if we can't get this thing to start. So your guess is as good as mine. But the anticipation is killing me. I know it is you as well. So keep watching. Okay, I believe our water level is high enough. Make sure we have adequate fuel in the carburetor. Let's see. That's working out. Look at that, runs like a charm. Okay, I don't see any water coming out the discharge, so I think she's getting warm. Yeah, she's starting to get warm. So that impeller is probably not working right. So I just want to make sure it fired up, and it did. The ignition is done. It seems to idle just fine. So the next thing is going to be is the impeller. we're gonna change out the water pump impeller and go from there. Carburetor seem okay. It idles. We'll have to see about full throttle when he gets it out on the lake, but anyway, that's the next step. So keep watching.